Technology is reshaping our lives. It dramatically changed the way we live, the way we learn, the way we work, and the way we communicate. Technology has tremendous potential to connect us with one another. But there are still people who remain unreached, disconnected, and deprived of digital opportunities. Tech4ED centers serve as hubs that enable skills training and job opportunities.
We have more than 4,000 registered users, and about 67% are women, and majority composed of students as our beneficiaries. And why women? Because we are gender responsive, so all our programs are aligned with the gender and development program of our province.
Natutunan ko yung ibang skills na dapat sa ibang schools na dapat per years dapat maano mo lang dito ng mabilisan ng mga months, mga 3 months, makakuha mo lang agad tapos maka-work ka agad.
This program helped me by finding a job and of course gaining more confidence as well. I was able to gain knowledge about the BPOs, on how does the environment work and how am I going to interact with my future customers.
As of now, as I was the call center agent, so I see that difference because as of now I'm earning more than I have earned before as a tricycle driver.
Magandang araw! Welcome to the first of NOLITC's Gender and Development Webinar Series entitled Creating Hope, a Suicide Prevention Talk this September 1st, 2021, streaming live over YouTube and Facebook. We are immensely happy that you took time, your busy schedules to join us today. My name is Red and I will be your host for today. In 2020, NOLITC made a milestone when PhilSecNet awarded the center the Pandemic Resilience Award. We are also recognized nationally as Outstanding Tech4ED Center by the Department of Information and Communications Technology. Just last week, NOLITC was recognized by TESDA as Star Awardee in all its UTPRAS registered programs, namely 2-star awards in Contact Center Services NC2 program and Visual Graphic Design NC3, and 1-star award in 2D Animation NC3. The star rating system recognizes the accomplishments, innovations, and improvements that the TVIs have instituted beyond the minimum requirements set by TESDA. The Learning Center is one of the priority programs of Governor Eugenio Sebong Lacson under his 7-point priority agenda, Avance Negrense. NOLITC also offers various scholarships for free online training, TESDA certified courses, assessment programs, and other special programs through the Negros Occidental Training for Work Scholarship Program with support of the Provincial Gender and Development Focal Point System. The GAD Webinars is another pioneering project of NOLITC Tech4ED Center that aims to provide relevant ICT-enabled services to unserved and underserved communities. We would like to acknowledge our audience who are joining us virtually. I would like to read each and individual comments that you made. Good afternoon to Ma'am Jennifer Legaspi, watching from Tigbao National High School. Thank you for joining us today. Hello, Sir or Miss Jar Bravo. Theodore Palmares Arellano. Good afternoon to you. Yes, we are live and this webinar is ongoing. Good afternoon to Miss Check Grace from University of Makati. Thank you so much. We also have Anyolina Abanil. Good afternoon, watching from Tampalon Elementary School, Schools Division of Cabancalan City. Hello, ma'am. And Sir Iyas Ide, I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Good afternoon as well from Camansi National High School, Schools Division of Cabancalan City. Hello there, and thank you for joining with us virtually. And to all of you, please do like and subscribe to our social media pages or platforms. We are present in YouTube, and we also have our Facebook official page. Please continue to comment the name of your city so that we know where you are coming from. Let us start this event with a prayer to be followed by the singing of the Philippine National Anthem and the Negros Hymn.
O labing makagagahom nga amay namon sa langit, mahinuklugon nga laon nga tagtugas ang langit, hangin, kalayo, tubig kag duta. Tanda ining imong timawa, kabay ining pag-ampo, magadulot sa amon sang kabuhi nga himaya. Salamat sa mga bugay nga imo ginpaambit sa amon. Salamat sa kabuhi nga ginadulot mo sa amon nga himpit. Salamat sa maayo nga panahon kag ilabi na gid sang imo katutom sa amon. Bendisyone ang imo katawhan. Bendisyone ang ila mga palangabuhian. Bendisyone ang mga panggas sa amon mga talamnan. Bendisyone ang ilang nga paglugayawan sa iban nga kapungsuran. Kabay makalabot sila nga walay sablag sa ila pagapadulungan. Kag ila binagid, bendisyone ining isla sang Negros nga amon natawhan. Pinahalad namon ang ining pag-ampo para sa imo kadayawan.
Bayang magiliw kay sa silanganan, alam ng puso sa dibdib mo'y buhay. Lupang inirang, duyan ka ng magiting, sa manlulupig, di ka pasisihil. Sa dagat at bundok, sa simoy at sa langit mong bughaw, may hilag ang tula at awit sa paglayang minamahal. Ang kisap ng watawat mo'y tagumpay na nagdinigdig. Ang bituin at araw niyang kailan pa may magdidilim. Lupa ng araw ng walhagit pansinta, buhay ay langit sa piling mo. Ang hinigaya na pag may mga api, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo. sakripisyo, sa kauswagan, sansik na tao. Magtutukod ka negosasyon, isa katao na mabigalang taon. Sa punat ang tuhan dati sakripisyo, paghuli ka, maghigain, maghibog mo, dapat maghari. Para sa kauswagan, sansik na tao.
Greetings to our participants from Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao, and to other parts of the world. NOLITC joins the international observance of the Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. It is time to raise awareness of this stigmatized, often taboo topic. Thank you for joining us today. We would like to greet as well the Atino president who is watching and joining with us live today. Good afternoon to Dr. Carlitos Orola. Thank you. And also, we would like to greet Atino officers and members, and also the Gender and Development Focal Point System members of the province of Negros Occidental. Good afternoon to all of you and to all of our viewers. We would like to also shout out to Miss Martin Bandik. Good afternoon, watching from Salong National High School. We have Grazel Pearl Young watching from Inocencio Ferrer Memorial School of Fisheries. Hello there. Miss Audrey Claire Eva from Silay City, Negros Occidental. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. And we have Lawrence Jan Larda. Good afternoon, watching from Inocencio Ferrer Memorial School of Fisheries of Talisay City. Hi. We have Nemia Tingson Lucerna. Good afternoon to Sir Greg Bancolo, who is so supportive of the NOLITC webinars. Good afternoon to you, sir. We have Miss AV Garganchel from the SDO of Kabangkalan, and Sir Gilbert Basilio. Good afternoon, watching from Bantayan National High School. And we also have here a participant from Rojas City, KP Agapito. Thank you for joining with us. Please continue to support NOLITC webinars. Share the link to your peers, colleagues, and friends, and all together, let us learn. This year's NOLITC Gender and Development Talks is a continuation of our webinar series, which we have started last year. This is our urgent and most accessible response to the ongoing global health crisis through providing relevant services and facilitating digital inclusiveness of communities. These webinars are absolutely free. That's right. To join, all you need to do is to register once and you will be given access to the entire GAD webinars. You don't need to register to each and every webinar. To participate in our open forum, you will need to post your questions through an online open forum form. Please find the link in the description bar as well. Let me remind you that now is the time to fill out the online attendance. The link to the online attendance form is pinned in the description bar section. We will not be able to catch up with all of your comments, so if you have questions, please post them in the open forum link. Again, the link to the open forum can be found in the description bar below. The moderator will bring them up towards the end of the presentation. You will also be receiving a digital certificate for attending this webinar online. You only need to accomplish the online evaluation of the webinar that can be found in the description box below. That will be after the presentation of our speaker. I hope that you are all catching up with me with some of our opening reminders. If you have not seen our previous post yet, you can always check out our social media accounts. Follow us on Facebook. Please hit that link, that like or follow button, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you very much. To kickstart today's webinar, allow me to introduce to you our moderator for this learning session, who will also be introducing our speaker. Our moderator is the Vocational School Administrator and Tech4ED Center Manager. She completed her doctorate degree in philosophy, major in developmental management. Her dissertation entitled Competency-Based Training Program for Poverty Reduction Strategy, this gained high academic distinction and regarded as an outstanding dissertation. Through her exemplary leadership, the center was given national awards from TESDA, DICT, and other government agencies because of its best practices and quality programs and services. NOLITC Tech4ED Center was also recognized by DICT as Center of Excellence. Prior to her experience as an educator, she also worked as a media practitioner for 10 years. Let us give a glad hand to our moderator for this afternoon, the Vocational School Administrator and NOLITC Tech4ED Center Manager, Dr. Maria Cristina Orbicido.
Thank you, Red, for that warm introduction. Hello to all our participants watching us via Facebook and YouTube channel. Mayong hapon, good afternoon, magandang hapon to all our viewers from Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. Welcome to our first GAD webinar for this year. NOLITC shifted to virtual GAD webinars at the onset of the pandemic last year. This is part of our advocacy for gender and development. Today, we will start our first GAD module entitled Creating Hope, a Suicide Prevention webinar. This is an observance, of course, of the whole month of suicide prevention celebration, and we are doing this as part of our advocacy. So what are our learning outcomes for today? At the end of this webinar, the participants will be able to know and understand mental health, break the stigma that comes with mental health, relay information on how to prevent death by suicide, recognize the importance of creating hope through action, and lastly, become a mental health advocate. I'm sure you are all excited to get to know our resource speaker. She is a graduate of Bachelor of Arts in Psychology at the University of St. LaSalle, Bacolod City. She completed her academic requirements for Master of Arts in Conflict and Reconciliation Studies in the same university. She served as Haven Manager and Communications Manager of Kalipay Negrense Foundation from 2017 to 2019. She is currently the Executive Director of Hope Volunteers Foundation Incorporated. A seasoned development community worker, a volunteer for various civic organizations. Our speaker is a lifestyle columnist of Stanstar Bacolod and Digicast Negros, an advocate of mental health and wellness, peace supporter, and children's rights champion. Ladies and gentlemen, let us all welcome with our virtual applause our resource speaker, Ms. Rose Jessica Jet Octaviano.
Yes, good afternoon, Doc Tina. Thank you very much for that wonderful introduction. And good afternoon to all our participants. Thank you for joining. And we hope that you will learn something from this talk. And the main objective really is for you to become a mental health advocate. Because
yes, we are all excited to have you here. And this is our first GAD webinar. And we will be discussing a very interesting and timely issue.
Yes, it is. It is very timely because our topic for today, as you know, is mental health. So they are saying that if we don't give enough awareness, this might be the next pandemic.
Yes, exactly. And I agree. So you may now have the virtual floor.
Thank you very much, Dr. Tina. Yes, so again, good afternoon, everyone. And I'm thankful for NOLITC for organizing this webinar. It's very important and it's really something useful that, especially I see some coming from different schools. It will be also helpful for you as well as for the students. So our team is going to share my slide, which is of course very important for you to know. Okay, so again, our title of our webinar for this afternoon is Creating Hope, a Suicide Prevention Webinar/talk. Okay, so next slide, please. Doc Tina, our moderator, already shared the objectives for this webinar, but let me read it again. Okay, and for you, for those who likes to see it visually, so our objectives are to know and understand mental health, to break the stigma that comes with mental health, to relay information on how to prevent death by suicide, and to recognize the importance of creating hope through action, hence the webinar title. And of course, I didn't write it down. I always just want to say it that number 5 for the fifth objective is to invite you to become a mental health advocate like me and Doc Tina and the rest of the NOLITC team. Okay, next please. So, welcome to the new normal. Well, it's not really new now because it has been what almost more than a year, because it was March 2020 that we had to do the new normal way, which is next please, which is actually something that we already do and has been doing and will be doing that needs to be that we really need to remind ourselves every now and then. So it is really very important to wash our hands, to avoid coughing in the public, and if ever you have no choice but really to cough or to pangatsi or sneeze, then you have to cover it. You have to cover your mouth. So that's why it's important really to wear masks, to avoid touching your face, to avoid going out, to be with a lot of people. That's why it's really wonderful. Technology is great that we can do visual talks like this. So we can do a lot of things together, even virtually. So social distancing is 1 meter, even 3 meters, the better. And it is also a reminder that we need to also regularly disinfect our things, even our cell phones. And if you feel unwell, make sure that you need to go to your barangay health worker or to your doctor. I need to remind it, I know that you know this already, but because of this new normal, mental health is also affected. Okay, so stay safe, everyone. Next. So during this time, I'm glad that the World Health Organization shared this poster that, it's normal to feel fearful, to feel afraid, to feel nervous because you're anxious during this time. And talking about your feelings can lessen your distress. No? Even listening to talks like this can also help you prevent mental issues. Okay, so next, please. Also, another poster was shared by the World Health Organization that stress really and diversity is happening and increasing at this time. And there's a lot of possibilities that depression will increase. Although depression, which is a mental disorder, which I will share more about later, will only be diagnosed by a medical doctor or a psychiatrist. But if you're feeling sad, hopeless, and even having thoughts of harming yourself or killing yourself, you need to talk to someone. May it be your best friend or somebody you trust, your mother, your father, your sibling. But it's also best to go to a mental health professional. All the details I will share later. But why did I share it? Because this is hashtag mental health. So next, please. What comes to your mind? Think about it. What comes to your mind when we hear the word mental health? I have been sharing or giving talks on mental health since 2009. I was the chapter executive manager of Philippine Mental Health Association. And during those times, mental health was not really talked about. As much as possible, people don't want to talk about it. They just say that, I'm not part of it. Wala ko labot or wala kong pakialam kasi there's nothing wrong with my mental health. But people also say, next please, mental health is about being baliw, or in Ilonggo, it's buang, no? You are maarte or kaininta ka lang. You are very tamad and hambal na bobo, autistic, abnoy. All those negative words or negative, mga negative na part, no? Okay, because there's always stigma when it comes to mental health. So this talk will help us finally end the stigma of mental health. Okay? So next, please. So before I define mental health, I would also like to share or to remind you what is the definition of health. Because if you can see it, and I will read it, health says it's a complete state of physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. So mental, in red ko gidya, no? It's part of the definition. So there is no health without mental health. And actually, mental health and physical health are interrelated. Why? For example, a person who is suffering or was diagnosed with cancer may tend to or may have this or may experience sadness, which will eventually maybe be diagnosed as depression. So they are interrelated. Also, if you are having if you're experiencing depression, you might or stress, a lot of anxieties, you might also have fever, or you will have stomach aches, head aches, back aches, all kinds of aches, and even high blood pressure because you are scared, or you are afraid, or you are nervous. Okay, so again, there is no health without mental health. So next, please, mental health, as defined by our friends from the World Health Organization, is how a person thinks, feels, or acts when faced with life situations. So every day, every moment of our life is mental health. So it's how we look at ourselves, it's how we deal with other people. We receive a lot of challenges each day, and there are choices to make. And that is about mental health. It includes handling stress, it's relating to other people, and even making decisions. So, what made you decide to attend this webinar? Is it because you feel that your health, something is wrong with you, with your health? Or maybe you feel that you need to help someone and you want to know more about mental health. So, that is your decision. Okay, next, please. So, let's break the stigma. If you will look at it in an outline form, I just want to emphasize that mental health is not just the absence of a mental disorder. It is determined by how you feel about yourself. Do you know who you are? Do you love yourself? No? So you know about your talents, you know your strengths, but you also know your limitations. So does this limitation stop you from being a better person? That is for you to answer. No? So, how do you feel about yourself? You're good at math, but not in English. You're good at English, but not good in math. You know how to dance, but the dance doesn't love you. You know who you are, and yet you still love yourself. It's also about relationship with other people, and it doesn't mean a boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, and wife relationship, but it's a relationship between siblings, between parents, between your mother or your father, your colleagues, your classmates. So it's even with our God, no? That is how it is how we feel about other people and our relationships with them. And the best part, or the one of the important parts of mental health, is meeting the demands of everyday life. I'm sure all of us have mental health concerns. No? All of us have problems, tanan kita may problema, all of us have stresses, no? Even just minor stresses. Like this morning, you rode in your car, or you rode a jeep, and then there was a tricycle, no, you almost bump this tricycle, or the jeep it takes so long every corner to stop, no? So that is stressful. But how do you handle them? Do you shout? Do you get angry right away? Or you just say that, oh, that's part of life, that person driving the tricycle is also doing his best in order to earn, no? So it's a matter of perception and disposition of everyone. And meeting these demands in everyday life is resiliency, being resilient. It means the ability to move forward and to cope right away with all the problems we're getting. Okay, so resiliency, relationships, and our full potentials. That's mental health. On the other hand, next please, mental disorder or mental illness is a medical condition. Take note, medical condition. That means it is a condition. It's not something that to be embarrassed about. It's not something bad. No, it's not something ay kahuluya, embarrassing. No, it is a medical condition, and it affects our thought processes, the perception of reality, in and our emotions, our judgments are or resulting in a disturbed behavior, hibik siya or crying. There is suffering and distress. There is decline in functioning. Wala nagapaligo, no? Sometimes you don't take a shower. Even brushing their teeth is something hard for them. And inability to cope with work and maintain relationships. So that's a medical condition. And it just so happened that this condition is one of the most important parts of our body. Affected ang ato na brain. So again, no, there is nothing to be embarrassed about. There is nothing wrong with having a mental disorder. And there are about 300 kinds of mental disorders. I will not discuss each one of them. I will only share the common disorders. So next, please. It is said, no, it is said that for every 5 Filipinos, there is one who is experiencing a mental disorder or a mental health issue. So for every five, there is one. However, because of this pandemic, it's possible that it will be two or more. No? Because grabe ang effects ng pandemic siguro. Okay, next please. So one of the common problems or common disorders is anxiety. Anxiety disorder is, or anxiety is the body's natural response to danger. It's like an alarm clock that goes off when we feel threatened, tinkulbaan kita, when you are under pressure, or you are facing a very stressful situation. Some of us can't even explain why we are worried about something, or some we feel like um, we are scared and unexplained. No, hindi tayo chindi. We cannot understand why we are experiencing this. And there are many types of anxiety disorders. There's like generalized anxiety disorder. There is panic disorder. Have you heard of people uh, experiencing panic attacks? No? There's about obsessive compulsive disorder. There is phobias. And there are many people who experience phobia. Like there's fear of death, there is fear of falling down the stairs, or even going to the third floor and looking down, that you feel afraid. No, your heart is beating fast, and many of us are experiencing this phobia. Social anxiety is about fear of talking to many people. So definitely, wala akong social anxiety. It's there's fear because you feel that people will laugh at you, or people you will say something wrong. Okay, and there's also post-traumatic stress disorder, where people, like especially soldiers who came from war, they experience watching killing some people. They saw their friends being killed, or they had to kill someone in order to save themselves. So after the war, many soldiers experience PTSD. They have nightmares, nakatulog, no, they can't sleep, because when they sleep, they have nightmares. They feel that they are back in the war zone. And but obviously, after the Yolanda, it was discovered that PTSD is not just for soldiers; it's for anyone who has experienced something traumatic. No, something traumatic. So if you experience, let's say, you saw someone being killed, or there was an earthquake, there was nagpatsanay, no, there was a hold up, and you were there, you can also experience PTSD. Okay, so that's anxiety disorders. Next, please. So there's also substance abuse is also a common one here in the Philippines, and it is overindulgence or dependence in an addictive substance, especially alcohol or drugs. So overindulgence means you take what is over what is prescribed to you. There are some people, let's say, you're supposed to drink antibiotics, and instead of taking it once a day, you take it 3 times a day. That's not right, naman. No? Or dependence, you don't need it, but you can't sleep, you can't function without taking this drug or alcohol. Okay, but the good news is, of course, always recovery is possible. Okay, so the next common is schizophrenia. This is actually what we think of when it comes to mental health, because they are the obvious ones. They are usually the ones walking down the streets. No, we see them. They don't dress well. They don't brush their hair. They they look like they haven't seen the bathroom for many years. But actually, they know the situation. It's just that there is something wrong, that they don't want to do it. No, as shared earlier sa description, ng may aras ang they cannot there's decline in functioning. So it's actually a thought disorder characterized by delusions, hallucinations, disorganized speech or behavior. Delusions are believing in something that is obviously not true. And hallucinations are related to our five senses. So they hear things, they see things, they feel that they won't eat the food because there's poison, or they touch something and they feel that it turns to gold. They have this organized speech and their behavior is unique. However, there are some people who are experiencing this, but you won't know it at all because most likely they are managed, they handle it well, they drink medicines. No? So it happens. Okay? So next, please. And another common mental disorder is depression. Depression is feelings of helplessness, hopelessness, and unworthiness. And of course sadness. But it's not just about sadness. There is feeling of again helpless, hopeless, and unworthy. So next please. So World Health Organization again defines it as a common mental disorder that presents with a depressed mood or sadness, loss of interest or pleasure. So the person who likes basketball doesn't play anymore, prefers to stay home all day instead of going out, has decreased energy, so just woke up but still tired, loss of energy, no feelings of guilt or low self-worth, anything is not even related to them, they feel that it's their fault. There is disturbed sleep and appetite, and there's poor concentration. Okay, next please. So what are the warning signs and symptoms aside from the definition? So next please. So again, dysphoric mood, or there's feeling sad, anxious, or feeling numb, no feeling empty. There is a loss of appetite or increase of appetite. They would rather not eat, or they would eat everything. No, they have sleep disorders. They cannot sleep, or they want to sleep all day, or there's an early morning awakening. So some people wake up at let's say they sleep at 10, they wake up at 2 a.m. and they can't sleep anymore, thinking of all the problems, everything from their minds. No. Psychomotor retardation, I also mentioned that in the definition, always tired, everything seems hard to do, kakapoy, no? You are like, you're always tired, you just want to sleep. That's why of those experiencing mental issues are always tired. They tulala. What's tulala in Tagalog? No, I maybe somebody can share later. But you feel like you're just looking at a one piece and catatonic type, no? Because you are tired. So disinterest, loss of interest in activities you like. There's an overall decrease in energy, lassitude. There's self-deprivation, feelings of worthlessness or guilt, loss of concentration and memory. You can't concentrate, you can't even think, you can't decide properly, or you change your minds often. You decide letter A and then letter B and then letter C na naman. No? So there is incisiveness, and there is also suicide ideation, thoughts of suicide, and death. Okay, next. So for those who are experiencing that they want to to die by suicide, let me tell you, suicide is a permanent solution to a temporary problem. All our problems, there is always a solution. There are people who are willing to help you. And if you know anyone who is experiencing so much pain, this I shared earlier with Dr. Tina, these people who are actually experiencing depression or wants to die by suicide, they don't want to die. They just want actually to end the pain. No? Kasakit-sakit na gib, na they can't, sa kaagwanta, they can't feel it anymore. They want to stop this pain. So for them to die means to end the pain. But that's not true. When a person commits suicide and dies, the people you left behind will experience that pain. No, what will happen to your mother, to your father, to your friends who were shocked, no? Or even some of them were already talking to you and they'll tell you that, I'm here for you. But still, when you die, it is a permanent solution. Hindi ka na mabawi. No? So that's why we are here to give this suicide prevention talk in order for us to know that there is an alternative to suicide. Okay, next please. So that's why the International Association for Suicide Prevention has organized a Suicide Prevention Day on September 10 and makes September the whole month for suicide prevention, dedicated to suicide prevention. But we all know that every day is actually Suicide Prevention Day. But this is the opportunity, next please, no? This is the opportunity to share it most and to make it like a global happening. Okay, so what are the statistics? This again is shared by our friends from the International Association for Suicide Prevention. So according to the World Health Organization, an estimated of 703,000 people die by suicide worldwide each year. One in every 100 deaths in 2019 were results of suicide. The global suicide rate is twice as high among men than women. Mas damo sa laki sa bayi, no? And over half of all the deaths by suicide occur before the age of 50 years old. And even one of the psychiatrists shared that she knew of a child 8 years old who died by suicide. No? So it's really very alarming. It's very alarming. Okay. So next, please. So suicide occurs across all regions in the world, and over 3/4 of global suicides in 2019 occur in low and middle income countries. Are we there? Philippines? Yes. So an individual suffering with depression is 20 times more likely to die by suicide than someone without the disorder. And this was shared again by IASP, or the International Association for Suicide Prevention, and they got it from research done by Ferrari AJ et al. Okay, and suicide remains illegal in over 20 countries. Okay, next, please. So, what are the warning signs and symptoms of those who are thinking of or talking about suicide? Okay, so they are depressed. They have a sad, empty mood, chronic fatigue. There is change in sleep and eating patterns. Actually, this is also a sign or symptom in depression. And let me again share, signs are things that we see in other people, and symptoms are what we experience. So signs, we can see them, and symptoms, again, what they feel. So this is the addition for those who are thinking of death by suicide. Is changes, talking or joking about suicide. They talk about it. They sometimes ask you, "Oh, what's the best way to kill myself?" No, they also search, they Google about the different ways of killing themselves or harming themselves. They have preoccupation with death, no, and they talk about self-hatreds. They have talk about being hopeless, helpless, or unworthy. So what's the purpose in life? Why am I here? Is it better if I just kill myself? Maybe more people will be happy. So that's what they are thinking. Most of them anyway. No? So again, there's also loss of interest in previously enjoyed activities. And some of them are saying goodbye to people. Like, example, are saying like, if I die, can you take care of my dog or my cat? Or please tell my mom I love her, or tell my dad I love her. No? So some people, and usually there are some of us will react na, ay kainta, say mo, you're so maarte. Why are you saying that? When actually they are already asking for help. Okay, next please. There are also other signs. No, they like to do destructive behavior like driving fast, no, taking drugs, alcohol. Tanan na lang, they want to have an early death. And they have obsessions with guns and knives. And sometimes, suddenly, they have a sense of calmness because they accept that they or have decided to kill themselves. Ano na siya. Next, please. So let us remember that suicide prevention is everyone's responsibilities. Hindi lang ni siya job, it's not the job of a guidance counselor. It is not work of a psychiatrist. It is important that important to recognize that is everyone's responsibility. Tanan kita, all of us are there to help this person. Okay? Next, please. So let us shine a light on suicide prevention. Let's talk about it. Okay, next. So during this time also, sa World Suicide Prevention Day or month, suicide can affect every one of us. Have you experienced or do you know anyone who died by suicide? Do you know anyone? I'm sure we do. Have you heard of people who die by suicide? No? I'm sure we heard also those people who jump sa SM, sa Ayala, and even if we don't know this person, we are affected. No? Diba? So this is the chance, this September is our opportunity to raise awareness of suicide and mental health. Like this won't stop us. After this talk, let us tell it, let's share it to our friends, let's share it to our students, to our classmates, to reduce stigma and to encourage a well-informed action and information. No? So ang gina-share ko di subong, what I'm sharing right now is something to be shared to others. And actually, this information is from the IASP. No? They encourage us to share it. But of course, we know about this already. No? Again, let's share it and correct the information. There is an alternative to suicide. That's why we are here. And let us be an inspiration that people will come to us that if they feel like they want to kill themselves, instead of us judging them and telling them na, ay, kagaga si imo, or you're so stupid, you're so maarte, why are you thinking that? They will come to you because you don't judge them. You show them compassion. Okay? So they inspire confidence and light and provide hope to those who are struggling. Because prevention is possible, we or you can save a life. And let's make a difference. So paano? Okay, how? Next. So number one is to reach in. Remember, we asked them to reach out. Sila magpalapit sa imo. They come to you, but this time, we go to them. We give them hope. There's another meaning for hope. No? Hold on, pain ends. Okay? We have to show them that we care and give them time. No? Because as I've said, you don't have to be a mental health professional in order to talk to these people. Just make sure that they know that you are there, that you are listening. Some people don't even want to talk. They want to be assured that you are there beside them. And no judging, and be kind. Hindi ka man mag-scandalize na, nga nung ma-scandalo ikaw na iahigan mo sila, kabalo ka? Do you know that this is wrong? God will not forgive you, mga muna, you will go to hell. Don't tell them that. Because we have an understanding God, remember? Okay, so reach in. Don't wait for them anymore. Kita na mapalapit sa ila. Okay, we go to them instead of them going to us. Okay, next. Encourage understanding. So, break the stigma, be more compassionate, no? Be kind, and just be there. Next, share your experiences. Do you know personal stories can be powerful? All of us, many of us know of someone, or even us, have also experienced, like me personally, I have experienced depression, as in clinically depressed. No? But however, I had a good support system. My family was there. I even thought of killing myself too. That was back in 2000. No, that was back in 1998, the worst year of my life. But what stopped me from killing myself? The thought of leaving my parents, my family members, in pain. They will be shocked. Why? Is our love not enough for her if I died? That's what I was thinking. But then I thought, no, I can't do this to my family because I love them. So I went to a psychiatrist and Dr. May helped me. So in the obvious, right? You'll never know that back in 1998 was the worst year of my life. But I'm okay. I have no more sadness, no? Of course I still experience sadness, especially actually 2 weeks ago my mother died, and Siyempre, I still cry, no, because obviously it's a sad experience. But I didn't want to kill myself, naman, no, or to be to uh, to become mabalik sa depression, because I understand about mental health, and I know she won't like me to be depressed again, no. But anyway, the point is the stories can be powerful. So if we have a support group, no, you know that you are not alone, and we can make it through because of other people who have helped out. Sa 1998, ang kahuluya ako makadto sa doktor. It's so embarrassing to go. Even I myself, when people saw me at Lady of Mercy, when I was going to Dr. May de Soriaga, I would tell them, oh, I'm visiting somebody upstairs. So, di ba? Subong niya, I'm proud to say that I'm a depression or mental health survivor, mental disorder survivor. No? And I'm here to tell my story, to share to you that mental health is very important and healing is possible. Okay? So get a support group. And the last thing that what we can do is to talk to someone. Yes, we already gave them our understanding. We already talked to them. However, if you feel that though you can't, hindi ka nakasaram, you can't take it anymore, you can carry ba? No? So we have to refer them to someone who is a professional. So maybe your guidance counselor or a psychologist. No? If you're not from school, or if you don't have a guidance counselor in your school, then you refer to a mental health professional. Kadamo, and I will share with you where to go later. No, because it's part of my slide. So refer, encourage to go to a psychiatrist or psychologist. So again, how do we help these people? So we reach in instead of reach out. We encourage understanding. We share experiences, and we talk to someone. So be the light. Okay, next. So by encouraging understanding, reaching in, experiencing, sharing experiences, we want to give people the confidence to take action. So to prevent suicide requires us to become a beacon of light to those in pain. So you can be the light, and let's save a life. Pwede, tagi tayo, we can really save a life. And I know, even if you're not a mental health professional, pwede give. I have a group that I'm the advisor. They're called Kapyot Bacolod. Um, we have a group chat. It just started as concerned student leaders. So they're now professionals, and even in that chat group, somebody knows someone who wants to kill themselves, and then we just answer those questions where we refer them to go to the barangay health center, who to call, even the police, no, and we eventually save that life of that teenager. So kanami isang feeling actually to save a life, and who knows. You might not know if you're being there for someone also save their life. So let's save a life. Okay, next. So the International Association for Suicide Prevention invites you. It's another activity on September 10 to light a candle at 8 p.m. So September 10, I think, is a Thursday, or I'm not sure. Okay, what day is that? But we are invited. Oh, it's a Friday. It's a Friday. So we are invited to light a candle to support World Suicide Prevention Day, to light a candle and to show your support for suicide prevention, to remember a lost loved one, and for the survivors of suicide. Because these people who tried to kill themselves and were not able to go through, they are also the vulnerable people who may try again. But if we're there for them and to tell them that we care for them, then it's possible that they will be okay. No? They will be helped, and amo na siyang importante. Okay, next please. So again, these are my references. Next, please, I want to share with you that it's okay not to be okay. Yes, it's a TV show, it's a Korean drama, but mental health professionals, this has been a long ago hashtag. So it's okay not to be okay, and it's okay to ask for help. So where do we go from here? So you can always talk to your priest, your pastor, or your spiritual director. You can also go to your next priest, to your guidance counselor, to your teacher next, to your family doctor, to a trained mental health professional, to a psychiatrist, and even government mental institutions, and there are also non-government institutions. So where can we go? So next slide, please. Next. So when I googled last night about suicide, this came up. No, grabe. I like it. I loved it. That when I just researched, I was actually researching on symptoms. I just wanted to confirm what I remembered from based on experience. When I googled suicide symptoms, and this came out. This is the number crisis helpline for the National Center for Mental Health. They are based in Manila, but it's a cell phone number because help is available. Okay, next please. So here in Negros Occidental, we have about nine psychiatrists, and there's Dr. May Lusuriaga, Dr. Gayares, Dr. Francia, Dr. Scandelor, Dr. Aguirre, and Dr. Servando is already retired. Dr. Orcajada is in the Mental Health Care Center. There's one in Hinubaan, but is focused on Hinubaan, of course. And there's one in Corazon Locsin, Dr. Luis Camerin. Okay. Next, we have more than 30 psychologists in Negros Occidental. So I can, if ever you need a list of all the psychiatrists and psychologists, you can email me or you can ask NOLITC to, I will give them a copy. And these people, you can text them, you can email them, and some of them are even available to consult online. Okay, next. We also have, in City of Bacolod, there's a mental health center in Mansilingan. That's a phone number. Next. I mentioned about Corazon Locsin, Montelibano Memorial Regional Hospital. You can text them for an appointment. They have OPD, outpatient consultation. They also have we have hospital services, but it's important. They have a ward for patients, although it's important that there is someone with them 24/7. Okay, next. We also have the DOH hotlines, Negros Occidental Provincial Health Office has a number 0965-9828-1851. So kita mismo, right here in the Negros Occidental Provincial Health Office, we ourselves have a helpline. Okay, next, regions, this is again the number for the National Crisis Hotline. You know, pre-COVID, they receive 440 calls per month, but during this COVID time, they have more than 800 per month. Imagine, kadamo, more than 80. No? Next, we also have Riverside Medical Center. They have a wellness clinic. Next, we also have in LCC, there is a crisis and psychotrauma center. Next, and we have care services. And you know, mental health services is not just about counseling or psychotherapy. It's also about research, educational talks like this, psychological first aid, psychosocial support. No, it could also be forensic psych services, like when you apply for a job, you need psychological test. No, if you are hoping to adopt, you also need a psychologist or a psychiatric evaluation. So it's not just about counseling. Okay, next, or annulment for that matter. In Robinsons, every Sunday there is also a psychologist there. No, sa Robinsons at the back. That's him. That's Sir Mark. He in the picture. He also works for the province, but on Sundays he is in Robinson. Sunday afternoon. Next, we also have Expo Care. Next, we also have White Coat. Oh, there's also Articulate somewhere in near LaSalle. And what else? MMM Medical Clinic in Home Site. I think they are in the corner near 7-Eleven. Next, we also have Talking Turns Therapy Clinic in front of PLDT. And as I've said, there are psychologists available for online consultation. Okay, next, we have also White Coat Medical and even lab services, neuropsych evaluation, neuropsychiatric evaluation, clinical assessment, psychotherapy, etc. The DOH also has a number for suicide prevention. Next, Region 6 na siya. And for non-government organizations, we have drug rehabs like in New Beginnings Foundation, Better Days Ahead Recovery Center. In Victorias, we have the Negros Occidental Drug Rehab Foundation. And we also have Norfee near SSS. Dr. Scandelor is there every Monday. Okay, so help is available. Hindi kita mahadlok, no? Actually, back in June 2018, the Philippines already, our president signed already the Philippine Mental Health Law. No? So this law will protect the mental health professionals as well as people who are experiencing mental health issues. It is also part of the law to 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 make sure that the barangay health centers and hospitals have available service to improve the facilities, and the best part is to integrate mental health in schools and in the workplace. No? So because mental health problems doesn't stop in school, bullying doesn't stop in school, even at the workplace. So some HR, I think the Department of Labor has sent some memo or executive orders na we have all companies should have a mental health ano tawag nila? Mental health benefits. So maybe some of them offer mental health day leaves, no? Or they have team building activities for their employees and all that. So remember again, help is available. So I'm ready for questions if you have questions. Thank you very much.
Wow, that was an intense discussion. And we
Correct.
are now streamed live in our Facebook and YouTube channels. And we have a lot of viewers coming from the Department of Education. Hello
Oh
to all
wow.
the
Very
SDOs
good.
from Kabangkalan, from Sipalay,
Ay,
and
very good.
yes, they are here with us. Thank you very much. We also have viewers from Binalbagan. So it's all over the province. Your discussion has been cascaded to a lot of people. And, the purpose of this webinar is not only to inform, but also to encourage us to become advocates for
Yes.
suicide prevention. Some key points that I remember in your discussion, keywords like hope, reach in, listen, and be present. So now we
Yes.
come to our open forum, and there's a lot of questions lined up for
Oh
you, Miss
no.
Jet. As of this time, we have 8 questions. So let's start with the
Wow.
first question. How do we help our loved ones with suicide thoughts?
Okay. I actually thank you for that question. Wow. First question, Arada yun. So yes, how do we help? Doc Tina mentioned it already. We talk to them. We have to be understanding, and we have to accept that they are feeling that way. No? But remember rest. So we reach in. We encourage understanding. We share stories, and we refer them to a mental health professional. So importante, the first thing to do is really talk to this person. So be open. A long time ago, no hush-hush ang maghambal pala na I want to commit suicide. So these days, doctors and believe that it's okay to talk about it. So if they have suicidal thoughts, go to them, ask them straight, are you thinking of killing yourself? No? And kung open up siya nga, ma-deny siya or he will say yes or she will say no, just make sure that when you talk to them, when you answer them, you have to make sure to let them know that you are there for them. And even telling them that, if you will do that, malalain di kuya, I will really feel bad. No? Painful din na yung experience. No? So you have to be open. You tell them, hug them, love them. No? And no judgment. Ito lang, there
Bawal
used to be
judgment.
stigma. Yes, bawal. Hindi mo lang maghabal. Ay, kainta sa imo nga maarte kagidya seeking attention na iya. We have to help them, be with them with no judgments.
Just
I
a
hope that
follow-up to this
answers.
question. When is the time that parents or loved ones will be worried? Like
Yes.
there are thoughts, right? And some
Thoughts pa lang, no?
Thoughts pa lang na. But when is the time na ma-worry na ang parents? Because there are times na wala signal eh. Wala signal, wala
Yes.
symptoms, right?
Yeah,
So-
I remember I forgot to mention that there are symptoms and there are signs, but sometimes there are no signs, no visible signs. No? So personally, I would like parents, even teachers, to encourage talking to your sons or daughters every day. Every night when you come home, You talk to them about school, no? Even we are working at home, no? And even them taking classes at home. So at the end of the day, you talk to them, no? You ask them how they're feeling. Eventually, if they talk to you and you're not being judged, they will tell you if there is something wrong na gid. But if they don't tell you, amo na itong mga symptoms, wala nga they are sad, you see them nga, maybe they don't eat anymore, they just sleep all day, they don't get out of their rooms, no? And mambata na, uy, si barkada mo, your best friend, si BFF, blah, 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 is calling and then he doesn't even answer the phone, no?
Yeah.
So there are really things to watch out for. Drastic change of behavior, no? Like warning sign, first grading, 95, second grading, 85, third grading, 75, fourth grading, 65. Warning sign na na. It's a warning already. There must be something wrong. So, basic as talking to them, ano na siya.
All right.
We will know.
So let's go to our second question. All right. So why suicide incidents happen? What are the causes and signs of suicidal individuals? This question is coming from Dynatech Industrial Institute of Binalbagan.
Wow! Hello, people from Binalbagan. I'm happy that you're here, along with those in Kabangkalan and Sipalay, etc. No? Well, when a person, most of the time, those people who die by suicide have a mental disorder. Remember, I mentioned earlier that it is a medical condition. So there are something, like they're experiencing like chemical imbalance. And it makes them think they want to kill themselves. But this depression is the masakit or the condition, and the action of that condition is sometimes committing or dying by suicide. No? So amo na siya ang reason. So it's actually medical. It's also medical. And also, if you remember, I also shared that usually they experience a lot of pain. So sometimes this pain started from when they were young. No, they felt abandoned by their parents. Kaya tungod nga baby pa sila nagdakap ng ilang mothers and work, and then they feel naging biyayaan sila. They were abandoned. In school, when they were in school, they became closer sa ila lola or lolo, and then the lola died of old age. Nag-amat-amat. And then in high school, they were bullied, by their friends, by their so-called friends. And well, we'll talk more about bullying in our next session. But bullying can be a trigger. They broke up with their boyfriend or girlfriend. They were rejected. And then later, the patong 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, until suddenly you just crack. And you feel depressed and you're tired, you feel hopeless, helpless. Why am I experiencing all these pains? So ang end goal was to stop the pain, and that is for them killing themselves. What we want to tell them that it doesn't end. There's an alternative to suicide. Amo na siya, miss.
Thank you. All right. So our third question is how to cope with emotional stress. This is coming from Cyril Don Abeto.
Hello, Cyril Don Abeto. Okay, thank you for that question. How to cope with emotional stress? I'm during stress management talks, I would tell the audience or the participants what makes you happy. So do what makes you happy, but in the right way, no? So do what makes you happy that is not harmful for you or harmful for others, no? Like for example, what makes you happy? If you want to drink alcohol, beer every night, 1 case per day, that's not good. That's not right. Miss Jetty told me what makes me happy. Beer makes me happy. Okay, so take only 1 or 2 bottles, not the whole case, no? Or do what makes you happy. Gardening ka na, a lot of, during this pandemic, many plantitos and plantitas. And to how, no? And then you can also read books, you can watch movies, anything that makes you happy. And remember, what makes me happy won't make you happy. Like sometimes, I'd like to stay home and relax lang and read books. But other people, they want to go out, to go to the mountains, no? So depende sa imo. So that's how you handle your stress. Again, do what makes you happy, but it doesn't harm you or harm others. Okay?
Yeah. So it's more on self-discovery. Discover your potentials and do remain positive despite the
Yeah.
challenges you're going through.
And I'm going to add, Doc Tina, self-care is also important. No?
Yes.
Self-care is not selfish. It is something that we need. It's something to prevent burnout. So self-care could be physical, mental. It could be dancing, eating, spiritual, meditation, because it is important. Even just for a day, you want 10 minutes of free time doing nothing, that is self-care. That is not selfish. It is important and needed and
Yeah.
something that we deserve.
Yeah, I agree to that. Let's proceed to the fourth question. In the absence of a guidance counselor, can a teacher provide counseling? This is from Rudolph Ponce from Kabangkalan National High School.
Oh, hello, taga Kabangkalan. Well, um, technically, counseling is only right. Is the job of a licensed or professional counselor. That's why a guidance counselor is important in a school, no? But I know that some schools don't have budget or wala sang ano kaya tawag na nila, Doc Tina?
Plantilla.
Yes,
They don't
wala
have a
no for
plantilla. They don't
yeah
have a
for
position.
yes, no. But for me, I really encourage that there should be a guidance counselor in the school. However, teachers can be someone they can talk to. And the teachers, if they know that hindi na nila kaya or they can take it anymore, that they feel that this is not something that they can do, much they can do, that's when they recommend to the guidance counselor. Di kung wala kang guidance counselor, maybe to another mental health professional, like a psychologist, na part of our list. And actually in Kabangkalan, we have many licensed psychologists there. Si Father Eugene is one, but maybe he's very busy. Si Pastor, somebody from uh, sa isa ka school sa ano ba yung school sa Kabangkalan, Baptist Fellowship na they also
Fellowship
have
Baptist College.
yes, there's also a licensed psychologist there, but maybe they're busy with their own schools. But as I mentioned, we have more than 30 here in Negros, so there's somebody to call, to text, and available ang online. But ako importante kita that you should have a guidance counselor in the school. And I remember back in the days, no, ang guidance counselor, amo man ang discipline officer. So hindi na siya pwede. Because it's totally different, no? And even some I heard guidance counselor / registrar hindi pwede because it's a totally different this job description.
So,
yes.
since we're already discussing this school scenarios, I'd like to ask you, what's the proper intervention? Like, for example, there are kids who are very competitive. And sometimes, I don't know if you've heard about this news that there's a student who, end his life because of just the grades, a failing grade. So what would be the intervention in these cases where students are very competitive and they tend to overdo everything, and sometimes they don't meet their own expectations because they wanted to have good grades, and sometimes teachers are the ones giving grades, so they have the option to to either give you a passing grade or a failing grade. So these are also concerns of parents, especially
Yes.
during this pandemic. So what can you say about this?
Well, number one, usually, well, in this time, the the children today are the instant children. Remember,
Yeah.
they want instant messaging, instant noodles, no, and all those stuff. So, ang hirap patience are very low, no, very low ang patience of these people, of these children, of these high school students. It's normal to be competitive. And actually, I believe that we make our own grades, Doc Ina, because we submit our papers, we answer the test. So the teachers are just the ones who prepare the grades. They multiply, they add, or whatever they do.
Yeah.
But maybe ang need lang, ang what the teachers can do is really help out man the students na to not to give so much activities na hindi man nila ma-cope up everything balahaw. So what can the school do? Make activities na will boost their energy, because it's also nice to be competitive, no? So the school should have activities to do this. Like I still encourage contests like mga squeeze bees, mga event club, mga club, any club activities, no? I still encourage that. And they should know how to balance. We also need to give them or educate them about mental health. Na, it's okay to compete, but not to the point of fighting each other and even lowering, not taking care of our grades, no? Kasi IQ and EQ equals success. Hindi lang dapat na you are so intelligent or you are so people person. It has to be combined, a combination to be successful. And your grades, you make your own grades. Your teachers are just people who compute them. But we also ask our teachers to make it not so hard and too many requirements.
All right.
Nabother ang kids especially during
Yeah.
this work from home
Especially
pala.
during this pandemic where they have less
Oo.
interactions.
Oo.
They're all alone in the
Mhm.
rooms, and they are glued to their computers. And it's also stressful to be facing your computer every day, every
Yes.
hour of the day. There's no limit to their use of the internet and the computer. So let's go to our next question. What should you do if someone tells you they're thinking about suicide?
Well, it's good if they tell you that they are thinking of suicide, because this is a time to do our best to save this person's life. Number one, again, ask them, so how do you plan to do this? And then you talk to them, maybe in a nice way, that, masubukan gid ko if you kill yourself. Mga amo na lang istorya. Do you want to talk? Can you share what are your problems? You tell me. And then be there for them, listen to them. And if needed, pagid, we need to refer to a mental health professional.
When is
Hindi
the
mag-judge.
time that you need to refer that person to for professional help?
Actually, when people are already sharing that they want to kill themselves, it's really time to go to the counselor, or it's time na gid siya, or to the psychiatrist, because as I've mentioned, it's a medical condition, so there's already there's already chemical imbalance that the doctors need to maybe prescribe medications. And even if you think na hindi pa grabe ang condition, it's good kidya, because prevention is better than cure. Remember, they are expensive ang medicines, so prevention is still better than cure.
Is there a specific age group that we should warn parents or colleagues at work? May ara ba
Actually,
na specific na age group or no?
Actually, it's all ages. All ages is it's vulnerable to, because like depression, because depression is any age. But but in our statistics earlier, it's mentioned that most of them are 50 and below.
50 and below.
But however, senior citizens also experience depression, especially those who are retired and they feel that they are useless already. No, some of them have episodes of depression.
Yeah.
But again, ang depression ni only a psychiatrist can diagnose. We cannot say, hambal ni Miss Jet ang imo may depression ka. Hindi. So just maybe it's you know the signs, you know the symptoms. That's when you think that you might need to refer. Hindi kita ang hambal.
Yes, correct. Okay. Thank you for that. Let's go to our question number 6. Can I request for a copy of the presentation? This is from Silay Lifeline, Pamituan Higa. The copy of the presentation is already shared in our Facebook and YouTube. So all you can do is to watch it as much as you can, or as long as you can, and you can share the link. Yeah, do a screenshot, share the link to your colleagues, so that when you want to share this presentation, you just have to click the link for the Facebook Live and also for the YouTube channel. Okay, thank you for that question. Our next question. COVID-19 survivors may also be at elevated suicide risk. Is this true?
Well, it depends upon the person. It's always dependent on the person how high is the mental health. So if he or she is experiencing sadness or and feeling worthless, it's possible nga it's elevated. But there are people who have I know of some people who have been COVID positive and they're okay as if nothing happened. They just had fever and they were operated and they're okay. So again, it depends upon the person and his or her disposition.
Yeah, because we also heard of news that in Luzon, there's one COVID positive who attempted to jump out of the window, who attempted to escape because of depression, because they wanted to kill themselves, because they are very sad because they're positive of the virus.
You know, remember, Doc Tina, in the beginning, people would tend to give a stigma. May stigma man ang COVID eh.
Yes,
So, remember, no, there is...
yung mga neighbors mo, they will not go near you or your household. They're very afraid.
Yes, they're afraid. There was stigma. But in the beginning, you're really embarrassed to share or even go to the doctor or to the barangay health center that you're coughing or you have symptoms. Tikahuluya, kami stigma. So sa beginning, those people who were COVID positive, I heard about that na nag-escape because they were afraid that they'd rather kill themselves. But hopefully, sa sige-sige na situation, we need to understand and know that these people are okay. Wala nila problema if kung COVID ka, positive ka. So again, it depends upon the person.
Yes. Okay. Let's proceed to our next question. What are the mental health consequences of COVID-19 crisis?
Well, in my earlier talk, I mentioned that this COVID pandemic has caused a lot of anxieties, a lot of worries, a lot of fears. So yes, many are affected by their mental health. Even the kids, who are staying home, ang ilang feeling of cabin fever, no? Because the adolescent.
Medyo panic if you have fever.
And then we panic if we have fever, and then those children are staying home. And this age, belang age ng high school, the important in their life is their friends. And they are not allowed to go out and be there with their friends. So it can cause, again, anxiety to these children. So even I have read many papers saying that if matapos na ang COVID, the next pandemic, if not taken care of, is the mental health crisis.
The mental health
crisis. That's why I'm happy that even the province, the province of Negros Occidental under Gov. Ibong, they provided a phone number already, a crisis hotline, a helpline, if you're feeling anxious. And I shared that number earlier. So even our province, they know it already how important it is. So we're trying to prevent this. We are working together for mental health.
All right. Since we have here a lot of participants from the Department of Education, can you give us some points to remember, especially during this COVID-19 crisis, just to minimize the stress and anxiety of students?
Yes.
Because, being at this age, at this time of their lives, they wanted to interact, they wanted to have fun, they wanted to mingle with their classmates, with their barcadas, and now they're hindered because of the pandemic. They're all alone. So what are the points to remember, or the points that you want to share to our teachers watching right now, to our school principals, to our school administrators? Ano yung mga intervention that we can do to help our students?
Well, first of all, I would like to congratulate all the teachers, principals, and to thank you for being here this afternoon. Being here means that you understand how important mental health is. And lately, I have been hearing, there are a lot of high school students who have tried or even died by suicide. So what can the school do? Kalimited lang isang atong actually maobra. But even online, you can encourage them still to do some extracurricular activities. No? Like I've heard in other schools, they even have activities online na hindi lang yung studies all the time. It is also not studies all the time now, asking them to prepare assignments, research paper, but let them also maybe ako na niya ha, but maybe you could ask them also to write things about their experiences, and from there in that paper you will know how they are. No, kaya kung part of when you write things, you will know na they are feeling sad in their house, or
Yes.
or they are feeling happy about it. You know, you don't have to take a shower in order to attend class. You know how you know how these kids are. You know, these kids are so sometimes
They don't have to change wear their
yes.
uniform.
Yeah, exactly. So, and give them also assignments that amo pag ginigaling no kay limited kaayo ang public schools, you don't you have modules. So, I don't know. What can they do? I encourage them to do other activities man. Like gali kay hindi bala hindi pwede makagather sa school. So maybe you can schedule talks like this, but gather them by 20s, no, by 10s, not everybody, and make sure to practice social distancing. Amo lang gid na. Amo lang na the best way gidya for now na limited aton na maobra is to encourage them, make them know that you are there for them. Ngati,
Yeah, it's very challenging.
yeah, it is very challenging. I was
What
thinking.
about the teachers? Kaya ang mga teachers, very challenging man ang sa buong experience nila.
I'm sure. So,
Yes,
give them,
you know, delivering modules, carrying the modules, delivering it to
printing,
the different
printing the modules,
printing
the modules.
So,
I think also it's important for you to have maybe once a month. Kabi ako yung laga suggest. Once a month, may mo break time, no, like work from home with no work gidya. Have seminars like this, attend seminars like this, no, something to maybe have fun together, like because gatherings is allowed na in Facebook and in live stream StreamYard, in
StreamYard,
Zoom. In Zoom we can do a lot of things together. Makasave ka pa because food is kanya-kanya, so you save. Although I know some people they had a baby shower and the sister provided the food, so pwede man na, but at least have some activities together where you can share your feelings, not just you gather because my meetings, and then during those meetings some people would say what you did was wrong, kapanukot balahaw, ato ang ginabobra mo sala. Okay, this time maybe have a gathering to just share your feelings of how are you during this pandemic, na at least hindi lang bala do may personal touch mo bala nga bis you don't see each other face to face, but have something. Pero Doc Tina, I think some teachers also go to school, no? They go to the school mismo.
Yeah, they also report. Some of them are doing work from home. So depende sa scheduling.
So do something that again makes you happy, to relieve stress. Okay, subong even going to the beach is a no-no, or go at your own risk. Mental health day. Yeah. Once a month, do rest day lang yan. It depends upon the principal and the DepEd supervisors.
You'd have to be creative lang in your approach on how to innovate and create some activities that's worthwhile and fun. I've heard nga iban they're doing TikTok challenge.
I love that. I love
TikTok challenge, and then iba naga-costume party. There are a lot of things now we can thrive during this pandemic.
Actually,
and we can make it more enjoyable.
I saw some pictures of teachers wearing Filipino costume because it's one ng
Araw ng Wika.
Araw ng Wika, and then they were wearing it and maybe showcasing through Zoom or Messenger or whatever, or StreamYard, no? And then there are also judges to say best costume, and make something fun. Christmas is coming. Oh, months na bala.
Yeah. All right. So, do we have another question? All right. So, good. Okay, we have here some comments. Good afternoon. Very informative indeed. Congratulations, Dr. Tina, Miss Ellie, Miss Octaviano. May I
Thank
ask
you.
for any suggested coping skills we can institute or inculcate to our trainees while staying at home? Example, gardening, YouTube exercises, Tai Chi, dancing, music, particularly to prevent the rise of teenage pregnancy.
Oh
So this is
no.
from, the question is from Atino, BMA Global College and Training Center.
Hmm. Is that another topic for next time? I remember we already talked about stress management. Maybe
They're
they can.
asking about coping skills.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we gave one last year. So God,
Mhm.
is
Yeah.
it in YouTube? Is it in
Yes, it
YouTube,
is.
pa?
It is in
Mm.
YouTube. It's still there. So they can
So
just search for that God webinar last year so that
yeah,
they'll learn about the coping skills.
yeah.
So yeah,
But
gardening is a good example.
Tai
Cycling,
Chi, yep,
biking, yeah, is also a
yeah.
good example.
Yeah. Coping skills, do what makes you happy as long as you don't harm others or yourself. That's coping skills already.
Yes. So we have another one here. Good afternoon po. Just want to say thank you for the very informative session. It's from Iris Dioy from DepEd SDO San Carlos City. Thank
Wow, we're
you, Iris.
reaching San Carlos, ha? Hello kay Bishop Jerry. Amo na yan kali.
Yes.
Yes,
We
wow, we're
are all
reaching.
over the province and we have
Yes.
also viewers from University of Makati.
Yeah, that's why I had to speak English because may Tagalog and I'm not good at Tagalog.
All right. So, do we have any more questions? I think that was our last question and comment from VMA Global. Thank you to all our participants and viewers who really shared their comments and questions to our resource speaker. Ms. Jet, can you give us your parting shots?
Okay. Sige. So reminder to everyone, uh, we are you are loved, no? Important kina, no? You are loved. You are not alone. And it's okay not to be okay. It's okay to ask for help. Help is available. And for this suicide prevention month and day on September 10, be the light, be the shine to other people. Let's save a life. Thank you very much for attending. And if you want
Thank
to,
you very much, Jet. Let's
yes,
give our warm virtual hugs, our hearts,
hugs.
and yeah, our smiles and likes to Miss Jet. I want to see it reactions via our Facebook live streaming. So we are being watched by around 108 participants right now. Thank you,
Wow.
Miss Jet. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Congratulations to you.
Yeah, congratulations to you. You are our opening salvo for our God
Wow.
webinar series. And we are very
Wow.
happy to have you with us this afternoon. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Yes, some key points to remember, just a recap of what we have discussed. Suicide prevention is there. There are coping skills that we can learn. We can survive if we reach in, if we share, if we communicate. And as a loved one or as a parent, we always need to care so that we avoid circumstances like this. So that's it for our open forum. I'd like to request Ms. Red.
Thank you so much, Dr. Tina. We would like to express our most profound appreciation to our expert speaker for today, Miss Rose Jessica F. Octaviano, and to our fantastic moderator for this afternoon, Dr. Orbicido, for that superb facilitation of this webinar. Shall we give them a virtual round of applause? Let's shoot our virtual hugs, all right? Virtual hearts, clap, and virtual likes if you do really love this webinar. There you have it. These discussions have made us grow hope and inspiration. Remember, you are not alone. If you are going through difficulties in your life, or if you know someone having a hard time, let us be there for them. Now, we move on to the awarding of the certificate to our resource speaker. The certificate reads, the province of Negros Occidental and Negros Occidental Language and Information Technology Center awards this certificate of appreciation to our expert speaker, Ms. Rose Jessica Octaviano, for sharing her valuable expertise and commendable service extended as a resource speaker in the Creating Hope, a suicide prevention talk given this first day of September 21 virtually. Let us give again a round of applause to our speaker. Thank you so much, Miss
Thank,
Jet.
thank you, Miss Red.
Our pleasure. The center is very grateful for the support of the Provincial Gender and Development Focal Point System, headed by our governor, Governor Eugenio Josef V. Lacson. To close this virtual talk with a hopeful note, let us have to our virtual stage the Provincial Gender and Development Focal Point System Action Officer, Ms. Marijon P. Castro.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you and congratulations to all involved in the conduct of this GAD webinar. To our resource person, we truly appreciate your sharing of your time and insights in today's episode of the GAD Webinar Series 2021, organized by the Negros Occidental Language and Information Technology Center. Our participants are indeed blessed and privileged to be able to hear your inputs. NOLITC is living up to its title as one of our GAD champions, a multi-awarded institution that not only inspires but also cares for the trainees and their families and the larger community as well. By coming up with this webinar, NOLITC has indeed recognized that all issues are women's issues, that the COVID-19 pandemic will not stop us from addressing issues that matters, especially if they affect our youth, our children, who are considered our future. We thank NOLITC for providing a safe way of educating our constituents. As the action officer of the provincial GAD focal point system, I join my fellow GAD advocates in telling our young migrantes that you are important, you are loved, not only by your family, but also by your provincial government. Thank you and congratulations to all. Avance, migrantes.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Castro. Moreover, we would like to thank our active participants for tuning in up to the end of this session. Allow me to read some more of our virtual audience. Thank you to Sir Rene Linas, Fria Alontaga, Crisandro Castañeda. Thank you for watching. Chelo Taladua. Miss Meg, thank you for watching. Irene Ningal Alusitain. Daisy Alisbo. We have Ma'am Dimple Ledesma Handonero. Thank you so much. We have Sir Ambong Jan, Edmar Giaga, Mike Bromo. Thank you for watching. We have Miss Baby Jane Tangaro Colasino, Aldrin Valientos, Shoy Bao. We have Miss Glens Harke Tano. Thank you for joining us today. Maria Jessa Talatala Halapa. Miss Andromelis Edelm, thank you for watching. June Jan Kalamay, Jessa Salar, Vince Obrey Jan Vinco. We're so glad for all of your comments. Dolores Dolar, thank you for watching. Lilibeth Tribonsay, Maricel Pilayo Estrada. Miss Elma Molinas Limaco, thank you for watching. Ma'am Evelyn Fairbanks, Miss Anna Nimes Monsaled, Roland Mangao, Riza Helado, thank you so much for watching. We have Miss Micah Halea, Miss Annalie Bolawin. Okay, we have Miss Ever Doliosa Villar. We have lots of comments from our participants. Babe Tingson. We have Miss Grace Yellow, Miss Leia Garganchel, Miran Stiblero, and a participant joining from YouTube, of course, Dr. Carlitos Arola. Again, thank you for watching. Ma'am Jean Jopanda, Miss Presel Axon. We have Miss Susana Predo, Marco, um, Another one from YouTube, Miss Kate B, Ma'am Janeline Segura, and Rosario de la Raga and Serkis Rojas. We also have another audience here from YouTube, Miss Salvi Marie Leite. Thank you so much. Again, shall we give everyone a virtual hug reaction? If you are happy and if you are grateful to watch webinars like this, send us a virtual heart like so. Thank you so much. I also would like to emphasize how you can get a certificate for this webinar. Please provide us your evaluation through the link provided in the description box below. Do this right now or right after the end of this webinar. You may also scan the QR code flashed in your screen right now. Your email address should be typed in correctly. Be careful with the spelling of your email address so it won't bounce back. The evaluation site will be open only until 6 o'clock this evening, so please do not forget. Thank you. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. This concludes our GAD webinar first for this year, Creating Hope as Suicide Prevention Talk Awareness. Tomorrow, we will have another exciting webinar about Introduction to Basic Corel Draw. At the same time, using the same platform. You should be able to receive a link through your emails. And as we end, please watch NOLITC's Gender and Development Advocacy video. So that's it, everyone. Stay safe and take care. NOLITC Inspire, NOLITC Cares. Avance, Negrense.